Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wine and Real Estate.
Oui, bonsoir tout le monde.
So tonight we have a special announcement by Jennifer.
Yes. Well, first of all, we have some special guests that are going to be joining us very shortly. And we also just want to take a minute and share with you a financing tip that helped us scale our portfolio and can help you too. By working with streetwise mortgages, we took a strategic goals-based approach versus a transactional approach to financing. They helped us develop a financing roadmap that aligned with our goals and gave us crystal clear clarity on where the money will come from to grow and how to maximize our borrowing power. Sorry, it's been a long day. And how to structure future deals. Cheers. I definitely am going to drink to future deals.
Yes.
And avoid some costly mistakes that have saved us really thousands of dollars. And the financing roadmap is complementary with streetwise mortgages. Best of all, it comes with a summary report of the best to invest 18 Ontario markets. So if you're not sure where's your next move, where you want to invest, that would be a good place to start. And a deep dive research on a market of your choice amongst those 18. And we highly recommend, if you're looking to grow a portfolio, to book a planning session and develop. I hate
disaster.
I hate saying develop.
It's at
English.
The bottom there. Develop.
Yes,
see, it's on the ticker. Develop your financing roadmap.
So sorry. Develop. I hate saying it. Develop in English, but anyway, your financing roadmap. You just have to email info@streetwise mortgages, and Dahlia and her team will be able to help you guys out.
Yes, and you're on your road to becoming millionaires. So yes. I see our guests are joining us.
Yes, without further ado, let's introduce them so I'll stop embarrassing myself.
There you go. So we're just here. Welcome, guys. Good evening.
Hi.
How are you?
Pretty busy. You know, with two young kids, you're kind of always like barely making everything. You know, you're like scrambling, but you know, we have our wine.
Yes.
There you go. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, you're young parents. We remember those years.
Yes.
Remember little kids and all the commitments, and then investors too. Wow. So yeah, you need that drink.
I know. Like you kind of bring it upon yourself with all this investing stuff, because it basically takes over our life because it's so awesome and you can't stop thinking about it or doing it. But no, I don't have a choice.
Yeah, but it's also like a fun adventure with kids. Like,
yeah,
you know, when we visit places and we get to bring the kids, it's like they get to explore and they find it so fun, and they visit. Like, it's just such a cool adventure for them. The road trip, finding the place, and hearing us talk about. Even to see us passionate is such a good energy for your kids. You know?
Yeah, totally.
So I think overall, it's
pretty good.
Good decision.
Busy but good.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. How old are your kids?
They are 2. They just turned 2 and 5.
Okay.
Oh wow. So that's an exciting age.
Yes.
It is. It's still really busy, but it's not so much like the baby stage. So they play together a lot. They're 2 little girls, so it's really cute.
Oh, cool.
They're really, really cute. Yeah.
That's great.
That's fun. So Josie and Mau, maybe just sorry.
Sorry, you said you had children yourselves, or?
Yes, but they're old. They're almost 18 and 16.
They're old.
Yeah.
They're old. We're over it.
It's like old news.
On to the next thing.
Yeah. So I remember listening to Bigger Pockets when they talk about, you know, buying a property for your children, and it's kind of like it'll pay for college or all that.
Did you guys do that?
Yeah. Did you kind of, you know, did you bank real estate with your kids type of thing, or that wasn't in your life quite yet?
Yeah, no, we weren't there when they were born. So we had actually started RESPs when they were born, and we totally regret that. Like, I think that if we had gone back, if we could go back in time, I think that we would have just bought them a duplex each and been over.
Totally.
RESP, total waste of money.
Yes.
I know. I agree. We're buying properties. We're not doing RESP.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
RSP is something that like
RESP.
No, but even RSP.
Oh yeah, that's a whole.
Which
other,
is like that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, it is. But an RESP can still be used like in an arm's length capacity to invest in real estate. So
it's not all bad. It's just our son is going to university next year, so it's too late.
Yeah.
Maybe our daughter, we could do something, but anyway, we'll just buy her a building and see what happens.
Yes. Yes.
To be fair, my mother bought a building when I was younger. Like when my brother and I moved to Montreal, she sold her house and she had kind of cash overflow, I guess, if that's a thing. Anyway, she bought a property. My brother and I, 2 young men, live in there, and it wasn't so good. We destroyed it.
But
she had this one condition that there was this one friend we had that we couldn't bring. She said, "I have only one condition. You can do whatever you want. Just don't bring that one person. He's trouble."
The first thing they did.
We did.
Guess what?
Wow.
So I'm just, maybe a tale.
Yeah, but you weren't the most responsible child.
I was not.
I mean, teenager
or adult.
Was she a nice mom, or did she do like we would have done? The building would be gone.
It was gone.
It was gone.
It was gone? Okay, good. Perfect. That's a good mom.
Like, it wasn't like, at the time I was a smoker, and it wasn't even like you can't smoke in the house, which now looking back, I think would have been a condition, right? It wasn't even that. Don't bring that one person. That's all I'm asking.
That's it. Wow.
You had it so easy, and you blew it.
Okay, she's getting back into real estate right now, actually.
That's right.
So
Thanks
it's okay.
to
Yeah.
Wow. You guys
We're getting all of our
deal.
favorites back in.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So what are you guys drinking tonight? I think I heard Cabernet something when we exchanged.
My favorite wines are it's
Cathedral Cellar.
It's a cab from South Africa.
Yeah.
I don't usually do South Africa. I really like Californian cabs, like really heavy, nice, full-bodied. But Mo always asks them at the LCBO when he goes to get wine for me if they have recommendations, and they say South Africa actually has some nice cabs. So
they're apparently coming up to catch up in terms of price point.
And I like it. It's really good.
Yeah.
I like it. I love cabs.
What about yourselves?
Yeah.
We are drinking a Cabernet Merlot.
Yeah. Oak aged.
Oak aged.
I love
One
that.
of our favorites as well.
But it doesn't come in a bottle. It's our table wine, our house wine. So we actually have a big tap and a big vat.
No.
They're really bad.
Yes.
And then
really like in your barrel. I'm like,
is it like next to the bedroom or something? And
yeah, it should be that we could just like
have a straw. No, it's not that bad. It's how many liters? It's big though. It's like 16 liters or something.
No, it's more than that.
More than that. It's like equivalent of 20 bottles or something. So anyway, we mix it up with other wines, but once in a while, it's just like our regular wine. It goes with everything, and
for occasions like a Tuesday.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, tell us a little bit about yourselves. You guys are recently investing in real estate, or?
Yeah, pretty recently. Like we bought our first property less than 2 years ago. Like
okay.
Yeah, and that was just our primary residence, and we bought it with an income suite in the basement because our friends Matt and Esther, who you just had on the podcast, we moved in across the street from them in our old house, and they had an income suite in the basement, and they were like, "Yeah, you can do this, and you can rent it out, and you can house it." We started getting ideas. So when we were looking for our first house, this was ideal. So we got it, and we fixed it up a bit, and we did an Airbnb in the basement for a while, and it was great. Paid for pretty much all of our mortgage every month. So that was great. But we have 2 young kids, and the noise was very
bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, it was so stressful because it's not even made to be fully soundproof. It's kind of like an older apartment made down here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like a full apartment or anything. It's a full apartment, but it's not like soundproofed or anything. So it was so loud for the guests, and we felt so bad because they're just kids playing, right? But we always have to be quiet. And it was just really stressful. So after like half a year or so, we stopped, and then we went on to other things. And then we bought 2 properties like in the last few months, our investment properties. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we've been getting into it fast, and we're going to buy another one soon. And this is the thing. This is the thing for me. For us, but like
for you as well. Okay.
You'll include him. That's so nice of you.
Very supportive of all my crazy plans.
I don't think it's crazy. Yeah.
Are you guys both working full time and doing that, or?
No, actually, Mo is working full time. He works at. You can tell. You can say.
I wonder if you know what I do.
Don't ask me. It's tech.
It's tech.
And you work at GitLab,
That's
which is like a tech company based in Silicon Valley, and it's fully remote. And
yeah, that's advantages.
Yeah, it's nice.
Go ahead. Yeah. I don't know what what you do.
I think we're very fortunate for that. So my company is fully remote, and also it's they have this philosophy where it's asynchronous work first. Okay. So they like the whole company has a mentality. We don't like meetings. We don't like calls. We don't like. Nobody's expected to be at their desk to answer a message or an email. Yeah, so like if somebody sends you an email and you don't answer for like 4 hours, nobody's gonna think anything of it. Yeah. Which blew me away because companies
there's like unlimited time off.
Oh yeah, unlimited paid time off. That's just pretty good.
It's really great, and it's perfect for our real estate investing lifestyle because, as you know, the deal comes up, you need to be able to just go and get that. So like, and we're about an hour and a half away from us. So if something comes up, we need to go, and Mo is allowed to do that, which is so great. Like he can just it's like they have a tell, don't ask policy.
Don't ask, must tell.
Yeah, so you just tell them you're taking time off, and you don't have to ask. So it's pretty cool. Wow. Yeah, so
like teenagers like us, we tell them like, just tell us where you are. That's all. I don't care.
Yeah,
but that's good if you give people agency. Like I have so much more. How do I put this? Like I care so much more for my work, because they entrust me. Like I'm not just a number. Like they have this sort of manager of one where like I feel like they trust me and I want to respect that trust. And it's where the more control you have, the more people want to break away from that. I guess, right?
I've read on that quite a bit. Like the driving traffic laws. So in Canada, it's quite strict, but if you go to Belgium, it's a lot tougher. The traffic laws and the rules are even more stringent. They have more cameras and things, and people are really bad because of that. Because there's no trust. So since there's less trust, there's a lot more accidents and things. So yeah, it's a big philosophy. I think I read Italy, the laws are a lot more lax. Like you can just not stop and do all kinds of things. And they have fewer accidents because of that.
Really?
So people are more like, oh, well, they trust us. So yeah, it's wild, but it's, I don't know. There's something.
I wonder if it's because you're expected to
do more defensive driving.
No, but it's the thing, like here, like maybe we feel more protected by the rules, so we don't take ourselves to or somewhere else. So like if I don't stop, they're not going to stop either. Yeah. There's no like.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, but it's really good. It's a really good, situation we have here, and I work at an architecture firm. I do business development, and I was full time, but then I actually was in an accident and I got a concussion a few years ago, and and I couldn't look at screens, and it was this whole thing, and I had to stop work, and then I tried to go back, and then I had to stop, and it just went back and forth, and it was so bad. I had post-concussion syndrome, and it would just give me like headaches, made me nauseous. So anything deadline related, I couldn't, because I couldn't push it. And when I pushed it, I was out for like a week. My eyes were hurting and my head. So I just ended up having to quit. And luckily my company, it's CSV Architects here in Ottawa, and they're really, really nice. And they took me back on a part-time basis. So it's great. And now I do more like less deadline stuff. And I do more like I analyze for the business. I create processes that will make it more efficient. I kind of like look at problems and like help them become a better company and do a lot of business stuff for them. So which I love, and I can translate that into our own business too.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, wow, what a good mix for your own business. That's great.
I know, it's really fun. Yeah.
But the thing is, like,
they hired me because I have my MBA, so I know business stuff, and they want somebody in an architecture firm to they're all architects, and they're like, we would like someone with business knowledge. So that's
the thing is, to me, like part of the reasons why I find Josie so amazing is that like if it was me, I would have just like, you had just finished your MBA, which you did while you were pregnant, by the way. Sucked. You just finished your MBA, and you did a bachelor's before that, and suddenly you think your career is going to take off. You'll be like a CEO, and that's how you get wealth. And it was like a silly accident. They were just a car hit them in the back at like 30 or 40 kilometers per hour. I
just hit my head in the wrong way.
It was like a 10th percentile of getting post-concussion syndrome. Yeah. And if it was me, I would just sit somewhere and eat ice cream and say, you know what, life's not fair, and I'm just going to give up.
I don't know. I think
maybe, but
No, but it's kind of one of our whys. Like,
but that's the thing, is like, and there was distinction because it happened in Quebec, although it was 100%.
The laws, very different.
So even though it was them that rear-ended my friend's car, they couldn't, because you're in a car, you can't do, you can't take any legal action.
Unless it's criminal, which it wasn't. And so it was one of these points where I realized, wow, the system really failed us. And, like at the end of the day, if you don't look out for yourself, if you don't have the kind of independence and wealth, like something like this, you think you can work until the day you can't, right? And that's what happened for you.
Yeah, I always thought, like, if something like this happened, I never really thought about it. I thought, if something like this happened, the government would, I don't know, like, take legal action, you could do. And then I started realizing that, like, I lost that income, and then we were just like Mo was actually supposed to be going to school then, so he had to go back to work full time, and it was like it was really, really stressful just to be. And I've always been kind of an entrepreneur at heart. I've always like buying and selling and thinking of companies, and that was the time where I was like, okay, this is like I need to do something else because I can't. What if something else like this happened? And how does everyone just live like this? That like if
a child or who knows,
like your parents, anything, or your spouse, and you just think. If something happens, you just like, and you can't work.
Or you see risk differently. Suddenly, that paycheck every 2 weeks
doesn't seem so safe anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was a big.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
that's a big why.
Yeah.
That's like one of the main reasons. And now we're like, we have to. So I'm actually only working. I dropped my hours a little more even, and I'm just working a little bit for them now, and I'm trying to do real estate full time.
So you're more a consultant, which is perfect. I mean, it's good to have a sideline.
And I love it too. It's really fun. It's a lot of stuff I love doing, the business stuff. So it's similar in my company and what I'm doing for them. So.
So cool. So what markets are you guys kind of looking into, and where did you buy your last two?
Pembroke.
Okay.
So not so far from home.
No, we looked a couple hours. We were looking a couple hours within because we were totally priced out of Ottawa. We, like I said, we were basically on one salary. We just bought a house. Like we were stretching it. Then we were like, can we please?
Even if you could buy property in Ottawa, it wasn't going to be a good like cash on cash return.
No. So we just started looking for what budget we had, and we looked at Cornwall, Smiths Falls, Pembroke. Kind of within like an hour and a half ish, and. Pembroke just kept coming up. Like I was analyzing a lot of rents too, and the rents were really high, and demand was really high for rentals. Like people were just desperate for rentals. Kind of like in Smiths Falls too. It's just my parents own some there, and I'm helping them. I find tenants for them. They hire me to find tenants and stuff. So the demand is just crazy.
So
it's like
owning properties. Because of Josie's passion for real estate investing.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I think whoever you touch becomes a real estate investor.
It's because I'm obsessed with it. Yeah. I'm like, it's the best thing ever. You have to do it.
Well, it's good to be passionate about it. It certainly helps you have more success.
Yeah, and it really radiates and people feel it. So I saw on your website you do joint ventures, or you're looking for joint venture partners. Is that part of your strategy? I guess you have money partners or credit partners or some sort of combination.
Yeah, we're always looking for joint venture partners. We're always looking for money lenders. We want to grow pretty quickly. So we're doing one joint venture soon. We're going to do a short-term rental in Quebec. And then after that, we don't have any plans. So right now we're working on a renovation in Pembroke, and we were going to do long-term, and actually we're thinking of doing short-term now. So
so much better. I love short-term.
Yeah,
especially in Ontario or Quebec.
Yeah, you have to.
So we were thinking of doing long-term, and we had so much demand. Like we put an ad up and everything, and we're doing the renovations, and we're just thinking like we want to grow really fast, and I don't know if I want to be we don't think we want to be Airbnb managers forever. I don't know, but we do want to scale up fast, and that's a really good way to generate a lot of cash flow.
Yes.
Like you can just maximize. You can like 4 times, 5 times, 6 times your revenue per property. So yeah, easily. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna probably make. No, now it's not probably. We decided we're going to do a short-term rental, and then we're going to get another one soon with his mom, actually, our joint venture partner in Quebec soon.
Excellent.
Oh, that's awesome. So is there demand for short-term rentals in Pembroke?
I don't know. I've analyzed it a lot. AirDNA, the company that a lot of people use to doesn't have data there.
Oh, it doesn't cover Pembroke. Okay. Doesn't mean it's not there though. I mean,
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace, you can look on Kijiji or different sites.
I have looked everywhere. I do very thorough research.
Yeah, we have this network policy in the house because otherwise we just go to bed way too late looking at
Yeah, we shut it off. Mo made the internet shut off at 10 because otherwise we're just miserable the next day. We always stay up.
But the thing is that Josie would keep on her phone, like looking at like Facebook Marketplace and Airbnb, you know. So now I have to like take away the phone.
I was like, can you just and hide it? Yeah. Anyway,
so what do you do instead? You sit like this and you just think about real estate and strategies. Yeah. So we're talking about like how the market, what the market looks like for Airbnb in Pembroke.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like we'll see. But I have looked at Airbnb a lot. I have looked at a lot of, and there are a couple in Pembroke, and they seem to be. They have a lot. I always look at like the number of reviews, how many there are, how booked up they are for the next like 2 months or so, and like the length of like if there's like big chunks of bookings, because I like the nice medium term ones. Like when people book fares for us, like the month ones were so good because it's so easy and you get so much more. Yeah. Do you guys have any Airbnbs?
We do. We have a cottage in Prince Edward County, so it's Airbnb and it's constant. It's been like really busy, and now we're looking at Florida for the same thing, so more Airbnb remotely. So yeah, it's an amazing way to rent places. We also have in New Brunswick a place. It's not Airbnb, but it's partially furnished. So Airbnb short term, I mean, doesn't have to be like 1, 2, 3 days. Like you said, it could be month long, could be a few weeks, few months. There's a lot of people moving to Canada or moving between cities, and they don't bring their furniture. We know. We rented this summer. We rented for a month.
At an Airbnb.
Airbnb downtown. We were living the downtown lifestyle, and we find out we're not meant for that.
No, we're meant for the banlieue. I don't know how you say
suburbs. Total suburbs. Walmart and Costco. We really miss them. But I mean, it's crazy the cash flow you can get. Like it's. Definitely the furniture. It all depends what you bring in. Amenities. People like the all-inclusive part. So
yeah, that's what we did for. We had one guy coming. He was an immigrant. He was waiting for his citizenship papers, and he stayed for like a month and a bit. And
he was really nice.
Somebody else came for a work placement for 3 months, and it was just so good because you get way more money. But for them, it's really convenient because like we had it fully stocked. You know, like all the linens, and it's great for them. They don't have to bring anything or buy anything. So
you also get interesting stuff like that one guest we had that stayed for one night but didn't sleep there, opened up all the packages, smoked in the basement, and just,
that was the only bad guest.
Yeah.
We didn't sleep there. He just smoked there.
Yeah,
that is so weird.
It was weird.
It was interesting. Yeah.
I like. We follow Sarah Larby, who does a lot of Airbnbs, and her rule is she doesn't take any guests that don't have any reviews. So
I know, and I saw that she actually did a webinar. I don't know if you guys saw. I was with her and two other women. Yeah. She did a webinar, and it was really good. I really liked it, and she went over all those rules. She said, she doesn't take anyone with. You should watch it. Like no reviews. She doesn't take anyone.
Nope.
She doesn't take anyone. I think for one night. Because those parties. There's like a few things, and it was really interesting.
And it makes a lot of sense. And I'm kind of experimenting that with our cottage. We're like, worst case, it's. We'll figure it out. But you do see people that just pop up on Airbnb and they're brand new, no reviews, nothing. So yeah, it's kind of scary. You could get those smokers or people, I don't know, out for a vengeance and they just want to throw rocks at your place. Who knows? It's surprising. So
coming after you, Francois, or
maybe I don't know.
So you guys said you house hacked and then you bought another house. Did you keep the first place?
Yeah, actually right now we're in the basement of that first house. We were going to move, but the cash flow just won't, because of the new Airbnb laws in Ottawa.
Yeah.
We were about to move, and then we kind of researched the Airbnb laws because we wanted to keep it as an Airbnb, like a full one, but it won't work now. And we're thinking maybe we'll do it like over a month, because I contacted the city, and anything over 28 days is fine. So like that, even if you list it on Airbnb, it's fine
For now.
Midterm rentals.
Exactly. It's called midterm or medium term. So they said that's fine. So we were thinking about doing that, but for now we're just,
Also, it was the thing where we could have moved further away, but as young parents, we want to offer some stability for our children, So like our daughter, the school that she was going to.
Yeah, she just started school.
Yeah.
We moved around a lot.
Yeah, and we found a daycare that was good for our youngest one, and we thought, okay, yes, we could move further and just rent this place out, but
we thought for now let's just stay put for a bit.
So
you could also rent it out to a brother or sister, and then they can do Airbnb all they want.
Yeah, there's all kinds of loopholes with the city. So now this is public, but whatever, they know about it. So.
Isn't there something about laws, like even if you don't break a law, if your intent breaks the law, then you're still liable as if you broke the law.
Yeah, but
don't intentionally do
that.
that.
Pardon?
I feel like they're not that organized.
Yeah, it took a while for them to figure out it was 28 days was okay, I remember.
Yeah, they weren't sure. I asked them many times, and they were like, I have to ask this person.
Yeah.
They didn't know if it was on Airbnb, if it was okay, if it was 28 days.
Yeah.
Because it's new, right? It's understandable.
Yes. Yeah, they really are cracking down on quite a few ways to make money with real estate and with Airbnbs. I think that they're worried about people leaving properties empty.
And I do kind of get the point, because we were staying at an Airbnb long term, but it felt weird. Like all the neighbors were also Airbnb, and you can tell like it kind of ruins the neighborhood. They don't care as much about the place. It's not the same.
It's also not good for the housing shortage and stuff. Like I actually agree. In some cities, it just doesn't make sense if people aren't able to find an affordable place to live. And I agree.
Right.
I think it makes sense. I'm not opposed to it, but I also, I'm interested in trying it out. So but the thing is, the thing that we're doing is that we're not buying any places that we're going to make Airbnbs that wouldn't also work as long-term rentals.
Yeah, that's the key.
Yeah. Because I don't want to get some rural place and then they make a law or something and you're not able to do it. So what we're doing is we're making sure we're like studying long-term and short-term markets. We're studying, cash flow. As long as it cash flows as a long-term, I'm fine with it. We're fine, So that's what we're doing.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's so important. And then the Airbnb really becomes a cherry on the top.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I think some people, they are really worried about this bylaw because they bought places expecting that they can just rent it on Airbnb, and then doesn't cash flow at all with long term. No. So now they're kind of like panicking. And so, I wouldn't buy in a place like Ottawa because it would be really hard to cash flow probably unless you had like a really, I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, imagine if you bought a condo that was meant for Airbnb and you can't, or like a really tiny little house.
Exactly.
You need to find, like in Ottawa, to be successful, you need to have something else, like a big backyard where you can add a coach house and you can add a basement suite and rent out your garage and the driveway. Otherwise,
driveway.
Seriously, there's no
a trailer on the driveway and rent that out.
Yes.
You can do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Put up tents in the backyard. I don't know.
But it's just the bathroom problem then, right?
Yeah, that will become a problem.
Yeah.
But it's shocking.
Oh, sorry. I was saying it's interesting this year. Well, I mean, I don't want to turn this podcast political, but most of the platforms. No, it's interesting because so many of the platforms that we hear from all parties, there's a big thing about real estate, right? Like housing.
Huge.
It's big. Like,
it's a really big problem right now. Like even the architecture for my work, we're doing a lot of affordable housing. Like mostly, it's a sustainable architecture firm. So a big part of our work is sustainable housing and affordable housing, which kind of often go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So it's a really big problem.
But it's like what is it? I forget the exact number. It's CBC, so hopefully it's accurate. But it was like 14% of Canada's GDP comes from like real estate investors, you know, and that's a huge percentage. And so as these new laws come in, like, because the people that it's their business, and it's something like real estate investors only make up like a single-digit percentage of the population. So like how much money a few people bring in, you know, compared to that money, I guess. Like, it's just so interesting to see. So real estate investors, not necessarily the bad guys in this, because there is a huge revenue that comes and helps the economy, right? Like, we provide a lot of money to services, for example, to renovations and such, and money multipliers. So like, I just find it really interesting this year to hear how will it be spin to people that are angry because they can't find any place to
live.
Which
I completely understand, but it's not. It's the thing is that bylaws are so hard on landlords, and then it's making us not like, I don't accept people, like lots of people, because you know, I'm not sure if they can pay rent, and I'm not sure so. That's making it really hard for landlords, because we don't like we're a business too, right? Like we're not just like doing it because we're kind. Like we need, this is how we make our money. So
also we're on the hook for the mortgage if something
exactly
is wrong,
so it's like all these laws, so all these laws trying to protect tenants are kind of hurting tenants.
They really are. And we invest in other provinces where the laws are a lot more relaxed, and a lot of tenants are complaining, but those are, I find, bad landlords. Like when we increase rent or things, we have a conversation with our tenants, and we do it incrementally.
Where it's allowed, because in Ontario, that kind of conversation would not be allowed.
No, but there it is, and it's awesome. You can chat with them. Hey, there's broken stuff. We just bought the property. We're gonna fix everything, and we're gonna increase rent accordingly because this did cost us something. But now you're gonna have a nice, pleasant place. Would you like to stay? Most people thank us. They're like, "Oh, this is perfect." Yes.
Provinces is that allowed in? I want to invest there.
So
Alberta, New Brunswick, there's
Saskatchewan, Manitoba. So more the smaller provinces. There's a lot of angry people out there because rents are going up, but property prices are going up. If you go to the grocery store, prices are going up. So everything's going up. I mean, rent has to go up. It is a bit of a double-edged sword, though. There's a lot more of a transient population. People move, like in Ontario, people don't move as much, but out there, like every few months, people are moving in and out. It's constant because the laws are very different. But I think it's good because you can talk to your tenants and not become a slumlord. While in Ontario, you're stuck with the mortgage, property taxes, and rent. Everything is blocked. So
it was frozen, right, for 2020. So for 2021 also. So we're raising one of our properties in January, and we're going to give the notice this week. But it's only like 1.4 to 1 point. It's something really small. I don't.
Inflation was much higher. So,
exactly. That's what I was like. I was looking at that when I found out. I was like, inflation is higher. So this is it's
even the cost of renovation. If you look at what happened with the price of lumber, like if you're gonna do renovation in your place now, like it's shot.
Yeah,
you know?
This is what, but landlords aren't really protected in this area. So it's hard. I don't know. Like I agree with both sides, and it's hard. It's hard to know what the right thing to do is.
But that's the thing. Well, right. I said not political.
Yes, not political.
It's okay. No,
it's tough. But I think that as real estate investors, you have to really look at the political platforms and decide with whom you're going to vote, because it is a really big subject.
You invest as well, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're right.
Like you have to invest in like for example, where you have your parties. New Brunswick, you said, where it was more lax, but you probably care which party's dominant there and which party more incentivized to keep these bylaws, right? Because that will affect your real estate investing strategy.
I don't know. I don't just go for the party that I think, okay, this is getting political, but I wouldn't just go for the party that benefits my business the most. Like I care more than that. So
right. Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess
but
so.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But I think they need to take a more sustainable approach, and it's very one-sided. It's what happens to the tenants, but what happens to the landlord owning the property, that's also a big question. So sure, let's lock in prices, but let's lock in property taxes as well. Let's keep them low. Let's help the landlords then. Sure, if it goes both ways, I have no issue. I can rent a place for $1. I don't care if they're going to subsidize it somehow. I don't care
Yeah,
where the money comes from, but it's got to come from somewhere. So
exactly, yeah. So it seems like they're just taking care of the tenant side, but they're not really looking at the landlord side, and then it's always going to be imbalanced. Right?
You think of Airbnb too, right? Like I remember Airbnb, like PR or something like that. When the new laws are coming in, they felt it was unfair because they said like it's not Airbnb the problem. Like we addressed the market gap, right? Like if it was so great to be a landlord and there wasn't a need for something like Airbnb, which offers so many safeties. For example, you don't have to worry about Uber. Same thing. Like the issue is. You know, this is just a symptom of the problem. It's not the problem.
Yeah, I agree. I agree there's a problem, but I don't think it's short-term rentals. Like, I think it's the way it's done. It's like the government, Yeah,
I think that they just have to be more aware of what's going on, and they'd have a better idea of what to really do to fix the real problem, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, go to the root of the problem rather than just addressing all the symptoms of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever that is. I don't know. I'm not a policy. I don't
know. We're not experts either.
No, I really enjoy Kayla Andrade in Kitchener. So she's with Ontario Landlords Watch, and she's really she's got a good advocacy group, and she does of course the focus is on landlords, but she also mentions for tenants. It's sometimes bad for tenants too. So it's really a two-way street. But anyway. So what's next for you guys? You mentioned that Airbnb renovation. What else are you planning in the future, or what are your wild dreams?
I have a lot of wild dreams.
To rule the world.
No, but we do. We're really excited about building a business that will be really sustainable, not only for us, but I think for just like in our business, but also with our properties. So I'm really interested in sustainability and how you can make our projects more sustainable, but also our company, and also sustainable for our lifestyle, right? So we're fully into like automating everything, into like hands off. Like we are never, not even for our first property goal. We tried for like a brief second to do some of our own renovations, but with young kids, it's just terrible. It doesn't work. So we just we hire pretty much everything. We're pretty we try to be as hands off, and we try to develop systems really early. Like we don't wait until we have a few properties. Like the first time something happens, we develop a system for it. So we're trying to be sustainable for the environment, but also for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is so important. A lot of people forget that. Oh, I want to scale. But then they're going to be bald very soon because they're going to go nuts.
But that's also kind of my job. So we're lucky because I know how to implement, like automation and systems. That's kind of what I'm doing for the architecture company. So I'm kind of applying a lot of these things I totally am meant for this. Like I love everything about this. Like everything, design, business, everything, just everything.
I meant to ask, so you have long distance properties, right?
Yes.
So how do you manage that? Like it's something that I remember we thought about, and then we decided not to go that route, but it's always in the back here.
We're going to, for
we're
sure.
going to, just not yet.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, like, is this like, what were your expectations? How were they met or shattered? Like there's something.
Shattered
beyond belief for sure.
Yeah. So what we have found, what works for us is not using property management.
Nope.
But managing from a distance, because 99% of the time when there is a problem, you have to just call a plumber or an electrician. And when there's something else, you can usually hire out somebody. And that's actually something that we learned like in Fearless and in other groups, where sometimes there's people that just want to have just a little bit of extra cash. So actually one of our tenants in New Brunswick does our showings.
Yeah.
So we do all the tenant screening from a distance. She takes pictures. She'll
do video tours. It's awesome. We have contractors. So wherever we establish our base, like in Detroit, Michigan as well, where we have properties, it's the same thing. So you kind of build a power team. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, a lot of times it does not include property management for us because it's just been bad experience. You spend so much time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some good ones, but they're a small percentage. So
yeah,
where do they fail usually? property managers? Like, where's the market cap? Tell us.
I think the biggest issue is the owners. So whoever owns the property management company,
it's the company culture, I think, and I think it's also that they end up managing too many doors. Like they just
get overloaded, and then they can't help you, and they don't want to say it, but they should. They should just say, I have too many. No, not taking new clients. And then they just don't serve you. Like they don't. We were told some properties can't rent out. I put an ad myself. Within minutes,
hours.
I had 40 applicants. I'm like, well, you can't rent it. I don't get it. But now I'm renting places. And
I've heard this from so many people. And I think I completely agree with you. I would love to find a great property manager. But actually what I'm thinking of doing, what we're thinking of doing, I think I told you. I want to create like a branch of our company that's property management, so I can really.
Yeah, you need to.
Yeah, because I just don't. I like my systems, and like you said, like I've heard so many people like saying I couldn't rent this out or this and charge like $1,000 a month's rent or something to put an ad. Like, I have a system where I put an ad on Kijiji and Facebook. And then I have a form I send out. When people answer, I just directly send them a form. And you can even automate this. There's like ways to automate sending a message with a link. They just go in, it goes to a Google form, they fill it out. And like, I just created this for free, right? I'm sure there's like better software for this, and then it goes, populates a spreadsheet, and then it ranks them automatically. So I just look at based on my criteria. I have like a criteria. It wasn't that hard to make, and it was free. And like, to me, it doesn't take much time, and I can find really good quality tenants. And I don't feel like until there's a big need for a property manager, I would rather hire someone when we have enough properties to be my property manager. And then right.
You know, because you train them yourself with your standards, what to say, what not to say. And we each look for different things. Like we have a 16-page addendum that we add to our leases. And there's certain things that we just don't want. It's not negotiable. Like in some provinces and states, everywhere, people seem to have a lot of pets. So I never allow rats. I love putting that in my lease. A lot of people want to bring in rats and snakes. So I always say, no rats, no snakes. That's not negotiable.
Gorillas
maximum 2 pets. So in Ontario, you can't refuse pets, but in other provinces and states, you can say no to pets.
Okay.
I don't think it's right either, but there's a maximum, like 2, that's enough. I don't want 5 dogs and 4 cats and snakes and rats. And
it's more maintenance for you, right? Like you're going to have to fix it up more. You just
and then there's safety hazards like snakes, like some are deadly if people have kids, and then you have these snakes killing children in your building, then you're liable. So it's a little extreme, but I wouldn't be surprised.
You never know the things we've seen already.
Exactly.
No, so I know someone with a snake, and the snake ended up killing one of the other animals there.
His parents.
Hey, So my mother is probably like the tenant you don't want to have, I guess, because she has like 4 cats, 2 dogs. At some point, she just is a big animal lover, and she used to work at a zoo and a rescue center. But she had
a house when you live like that, and that's fine.
They bought a house, and now they're buying another one. We've trained both of our parents to buy rental properties.
Perfect.
Trained, actually.
But we've coached them. Well, we coach them, and also we're just kind of proof that it's great and it works, and it doesn't have to be that complicated.
No.
Everyone just thinks it's so crazy complicated, but when I actually break it down and they have questions, and they're like, "Oh, it's not as bad as I thought," you know. So we're getting they all have properties now, and we're pretty happy. We're building a big family business.
The real estate agent that we went with is also very happy with us.
We referred my parents to this real estate agent, and they bought like 2 properties in 2 days or something. And she was
great.
Awesome.
Do you still use real estate agent? That's something I read about often. Where as you build your team, you want we love a real estate agent.
Natalie Bruce.
Yes, shout out to Natalie Bruce. She's amazing. Just integrity is fantastic. But I often read how people want to kind of cut that middleman.
No, don't. Pay
but I love having that point of contact. But with long distance investing, like how do you
you make relationships with different real estate. Yeah.
You know, I don't believe in cutting people out. So I think that having a good real estate agent is so important. And they usually keep you kind of what I call in the sidelines. So whenever they have a deal that comes up, they think of you. And I think that they even end up with off-market deals. So sometimes people say, oh, well, I don't want to work with an agent because I'll get an off-market deal. And then if you're also just buying directly from another agent, you have absolutely nobody protecting you in that transaction. So you're just working with the person who has a relationship with the seller.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't buy just directly from an agent.
No, we always use an agent, or you can buy from wholesalers, of course. But again, that's another relationship you need to cultivate.
Yeah.
And I think I saw one person, Martin, I don't know if he's still watching, but anyway, he's a wholesaler. So again, you build that relationship and you tell them what you're looking for, just like a realtor. You can do door knocking, things like that. But I find that's really for hot markets. So where, like Ottawa, let's say you're trying to find a deal in Ottawa, then you'll need to get creative and I don't know, bake a pie for your neighbor and try to buy their house. I mean, you'll need to do things. But for the most part, we work with realtors. Usually they come highly recommended. I know Natalie, she works or used to work with Tony Miller. So
she works.
Okay, so quite a network of people that work with her, so you can ask for references.
Exactly. She always has really good recommendations for everything we need, like inspectors and everything. So
that's what you want. You want someone that's got that team wherever you're looking. We try to keep a local agent. So if we buy in Florida, we want someone that knows the city or town. We don't go with a generalist. That's my belief. So I prefer to find, because they have the local flavors and quirks, because all towns and cities have little quirks and weird bylaws you don't know about unless you live there. So it's very important to know about that.
Yeah.
And like a history of neighborhoods, or there's also that grew up somewhere, right? You have that kind of circle of knowledge. Yeah.
And you know what, that direct, like the town we found for a renovation in Pembroke, it was so hard to find contractors, which I know a lot of people are having trouble with right now. But if you worked with someone directly there, like now that we found a contractor, I think I probably sent out like 30 emails. Like I really tried, like Kijiji, Facebook, like Google, everything. I was just blasting them out. And I think if you, like, now that we have a contractor, he's kind of helping, like he knows people who know people, and then they can kind of,
because he grew up in Pembroke and left and came back. Now we're
so same thing. If you have an agent that lives there in like a small town or something, then they would probably have these contacts, and you could find someone easier than just like cold calling for which is really hard.
I mean, when we're doing distance
you have to rely on that network.
Our agent gave us this amazing handyman that does a lot of work for peanuts.
Yes. He's really proud of his work, and it's good for everybody. So it's a win-win strategy. So I want to be aware of time and things. So do you have any final word of advice? I know you have young kids going to bed soon as well, or the next little while. And
you can't. The advice is don't miss the threshold when you're supposed to put your kids in bed.
Like
it's a disaster then.
No advice. I don't know. I think probably a lot of real estate investors have the same advice. You really have to get started. Like you have to, everyone gets paralyzed. And we talk a lot on our Instagram with new investors or people that want to. We're kind of like, we're really interested in getting people started, because we're kind of like in that situation with our parents and in that situation with our friends, and just nobody in our circles really knew about real estate investing, and they all are like have some money, and we want people to know about it and how powerful it is. And instead of RESPs, buy a duplex, like you said, right? So I think you just really have to get started, and you have to not be paralyzed with how many choices. Like when we were getting started, it's scary because there's so many different strategies you can pick, and there's so many different things you can do. And I think you just have to do a little research. You have to talk to people. You have to read a few books, and then learn how to analyze a deal. And if one works, then just do it. Like I think a lot of people probably say the same thing. But it is the best advice to get started.
But I think something I remember that helped me anyway when we got into this is like, you don't look for that perfect deal to get started. You know, we're like, if it doesn't make the number, you won't buy. And like at the end of the day, if you're not making money on this, and you know, the kind of leverage and empowerment you'll get from just breaking the ice.
Like our first deal's not great at all.
What do you mean? It's fantastic.
It's fine. It cash flows a little bit and it's fine. And we're the mortgage is being paid down. It's appreciating. It's fine. But it wasn't. We just needed to get it, and like we.
But it empowered us.
It empowered us, and then after that, we were like, oh, that wasn't so bad. So then we bought another within 2 months or something, and this one it cash flows better.
But that's what I mean. Is just don't. I remember like I often have that paralysis of choice. That's something that you know I will try to find all the until I know 100% for sure that this is the best choice in all possible universe that exists.
With real estate investing, you just have to do it, and then in like a few years, those first few things that maybe aren't the best cash flow, you can sell them and get something different. Like you just have to start to start growing. Otherwise, you're just losing money. I think.
Trying to build the confidence as you go.
Exactly, the confidence too. It's and also just to know that you have one and you're getting experience, even if it's not the best deal. It's like education, right? It's you're learning, and then other people you can talk to them, and you have credibility because now you have a property, right? And it's more interesting, and it's just get started.
I guess that's the thing. Just
Well, how can people get a hold of you if they want to find out more about what you guys are working on, or if they're interested in working with you guys?
Probably Instagram or email. Instagram, we're Yacksmith Properties. And email is properties@yacksmith.ca.
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to have a strong presence on social media. And so I think that's the best platform will really be Instagram. But we're really, whether it's email, the contact form from our website, even through LinkedIn, you know, you can find the Yacksmith Properties on LinkedIn as well. And we're always waiting to hear from people.
Yeah, we love chatting about this, obviously.
Excellent. That's great. Well, it was lovely chatting with you and getting to know you. Let's stay in touch. Maybe we'll get to meet in person. We're also in Ottawa, so East End.
Oh yeah, that's true. So for sure at a meetup at some point soon, now that we're allowed to, that will be fun.
Yes, hopefully we'll be able to do some meetups soon.
Thanks for inviting us. It's really fun.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too. Bye.
You too. Bye.